if anything we've learned over the course of this virus is the fact that you do need to save for a rainy day, and most experts suggesting that the strategy to adopt right now is to deepen your savings and spend less. So July, National Savings Month. But with the negative effect of COVID-19 on the economy, can we expect people to save during this time? Here to unpack this, I'm joined by the acting CEO at the South African Savings Institute, Gerald Mwandiambira. Gerald, good evening and thank you for your time tonight. Is it insensitive to run Savings Month when people can barely afford to put food on the table?
I think it's not necessarily insensitive. I think it's very important that we actually have a savings month at a time like this, because not only does it highlight the importance of saving, but also it's about time we have those mature money discussions. And our theme this year is really around finding ways to save. So it's hashtag ways to save. And we want to have those conversations around finding financial resilience in tough times, because COVID-19 is affecting everyone, whether you were saving or not, it's affecting you. However, those people who were saving are finding that it's not as bad as it's being for some other people.
Before COVID-19, we're already seeing signs of extreme indebtedness as far as South Africans are concerned. Now, some are estimating close to 7 million people losing jobs during this COVID-19, which means we might be looking at a youth unemployment rate way above 50%. What is the real percentage of people that are really able to save right now?
Look, I think our savings rate as a country was always weak. However, over the last 2-3 years, we had seen the numbers starting to improve. Obviously, what we're going through now is going to see a lot of people depleting their emergency savings, which they had. And also, you're going to see a lot of the savings some people had, for example, in provident funds, being liquidated and people using it to survive. It's obviously not always the best thing to do, but in reality, some people are having to make a choice between depleting or using their retirement savings or surviving. So during the month of July, as the South African Savings Institute, we're holding a number of webinars where we're going to have discussions around everything from retrenchment to starting a family stokvel to being self-employed or your business struggling right now, right through to your financial well-being in terms of your health. So mental illness is definitely something which is often related to your finances. And I think you can also link that to what we're finding now around gender-based violence, in that families are stressed. We've seen divorce rates are going up because of the pandemic. So we are all going through a tough period where, you know, we're trying to make it. And the webinar series is something which we think will be important. We kick off tomorrow, and, you know, by participating, you can even win yourself cash prizes, spot prizes randomly selected by the computer, or you can win the 10,000 Rand tax-free savings account with the SASSI Partners ABSA.
Now, taking all those learnings and putting them together, what does that tell us about South Africans' readiness for a crisis? I mean, if you look at how people have responded and if you measure our financial resilience and our future-proofing as far as our finances are concerned.
Look, I think what we are seeing is that a lot of people have simply been unprepared to have that financial resilience to go through a tough period like now. And it's being made even tougher by the reality in that some people are actually losing their jobs. And it's difficult. So what I've coined is an acronym where I'm saying that at this time, you need to be in control of your own fate. F-A-T-E. F standing for food, which is the food expenses. How can you save on food by buying in bulk or even changing your diet to the diets we grew up on? We didn't grow up on diets as rich as they are now. You can probably save by reverting back to that. A, for your accommodation. Are you paying rental for a landlord? Maybe it's time for you to move home. If you're paying for a bond, can you save on the number of years you pay it by keeping the same amount you were paying pre-COVID if you can? T, for your transport. That car you've got parked for 100 days, how can it work for you? Can you repurpose it for it to do ride hailing or delivery? Because the online economy is going to grow exponentially because people are staying at home. They're not going to go out and more. So there is a great opportunity for online businesses and online opportunities around transport. And lastly, the E. E stands for your entertainment. 100 days you haven't gone out, you've saved. How can you keep doing that? Or finally, E can also be for education. If you are losing your job or losing an income, you might need to make that decision to put children into homeschooling so that you save on school fees, at least for a season. I think it's important that we start realizing that this current pandemic is a season. However, how you behave and react right now will impact on your medium to long-term financial future.
Gerald, most importantly, before we let you go, what are the major mistakes in savings that we shouldn't be making right now?
Main thing is just not tracking where your money goes. So having a budget, even if you have little, still have a budget and know where your money is going. Secondly, have financial counsel. If you don't have responsible, good friends or partners to help you with your finances, get a good financial planning professional to guide you and just help you to make those right decisions. And three is protect your name. If you lose your job or your company is going to close, you can make arrangements which prevent a default judgment going against you. So if you receive summons, do a notice to defend, stand before a magistrate, make an arrangement. That way you can bounce back. Your name will still be able to borrow and get credit. Don't let it reach a point where you are paralyzed with anxiety and fear and you get a default judgment, which means that you can't actually ever, get back on your feet as quickly as you could.
Gerald, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us tonight. That is Gerald Mwandiambira, Acting Chief Executive for the South African Savings Institute.